Hello everybody and welcome back to Command Point. We've got some big news today regarding Kill Team. I woke up this morning and I checked the Discord and somebody had pinged me because new faction dropped. This is the Hunter Clade Kill Team. This is kind of like a specialized version of the Forge World faction. So, like, new AdMech Kill Team. Today I'm here with Shane, and we're just going to be taking a look at this this leaked PDF, basically. One other thing I want to mention, we are running a tournament on Tabletop Simulator on September 25th. It is the first in our monthly series of the Command Point tournament series. If you guys are interested in signing up for that, I am going to leave the link to our Discord server below. Click that link and then you will easily be able to find information regarding that tournament.
It is going to be very exciting. And it's all that one day on Saturday, and we're going to be streaming as much as we can of those games for people to watch if they're not playing. And yeah, I mean, it should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. So check that out. The Hunter Clade Kill Team for Archetype, you've got Recon and Search and Destroy. Let's just take a look at these operatives right now.
I like how, first and foremost, this is different from what they did, I think, with the other ones, but they have the leader as, like, you select your leader from this list, and then here's the rest of the models, pick 9 of them, rather than being like, oh, if you want a leader, replace blah, blah, blah with one of these options. You know,
Yeah.
is that just, like, this feels more clear to me.
No, you're absolutely right.
You get all the leaders that come with the Forge World team, and I mean, this is not any different from Forge World, but it really starts to get different once you look at the different unique operatives that they can take.
Yeah, so like no longer are you, at least with this faction, you're not limited to like taking fire teams. You can just pick and choose whatever AdMech models that you want to be in your Hunter Clade Kill Team. So starting off, it says 9 Hunter Clade operatives selected from the following list. The things that really stand out here are Skitarii Ranger Dictats, Skitarii Ranger Surveyors, Vanguard Shock Troopers, Vanguard Dictats, another Vanguard Surveyor. Because if I'm not mistaken, all of those models are new models. They're not really new models, unfortunately. They're not any like unique Kill Team sculpts that are going to be coming out, at least judging by the pictures that we'll see later on. But they are new data cards with new rules. Okay, so there is something important to note here. Your kill team must include more Skitarii Ranger and Skitarii Vanguard operatives than it does Sicarian operatives. It says your kill team can only include up to 2 Gunner operatives unless it contains 3 or fewer Sicarian operatives, in which case it can include up to 3 Gunner operatives. Each Gunner operative must be equipped with different ranged weapons, so you can't double up on plasma calibers or arc rifles or anything like that. Your kill team can only include up to 1 Dictat and 1 Surveyor operative. We'll get into what those are later on, but Shane, go ahead.
Okay, well, what you just said was actually very important because it specifically says up to 1 Dictat and up to 1 Surveyor. It doesn't say like 1 Vanguard Surveyor or
Exactly.
Ranger. Like, you can't have a Ranger and a Vanguard Surveyor. I mean, my immediate thought is I would run 3 Sicarian, 3 Gunners, and then, you know, you have a Surveyor and a Dictat. That's 8 guys right there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you just throw in like a Shock Trooper and call it a day. And I mean, then you have the leader.
Before we get into the models and everything, we have to talk about these new Doctrina imperatives. They're not really new, but kind of like how the Veteran Guardsmen have free access to orders, the Hunter Clade, not Hunter Cadre, the Hunter Clade has free access to Doctrina imperatives. They're not like stratagems that you're paying CP for. But Shane, do you want to go ahead and talk about these?
I mean, it's kind of like Mechanicals in the last edition or in 40K. This is very similar, especially with the way they're running here with the Hunter Clade, where you just pick them. Forge World has access to these, but they're strategic plays. So they cost a CP, and it's the same otherwise, as far as I can tell. But the thing here with the Hunter Clade is you have to take these. Basically, in the strategic, or I guess in the strategy phase, I guess you'd call it, and at the beginning of each turning point, you pick one of these imperatives, and you can't pick one that you've already used, and you just get that for the turn. Now, there are positives and negatives to this when looking at it side by side with Forge World. Like I said, with Forge World, you have to pay CP for it. Here, it's free. However, with Forge World, you don't have to take it. Whereas with Hunter Clade, you have to pick one each turn. Now, you might be wondering, if you haven't read these yet, why is that a bad thing? The reason is, if you look at these, there's the optimization for each one, and there's the deprecation. So you pick one of these, say for instance, you pick Aggressor Imperative. So the optimization, you get 1 inch to the movement characteristic of all your operatives. However, you also get a negative. So each time a shooting attack is made against one of your guys, you can't retain defense dice because of cover. So you're getting something, but you're also kind of losing something with each one of these. So whereas Forge World can just opt to not take any of these, Hunter Clade has to pick one each turn. Granted, they did add the equalized imperative, so you don't have to take one for that one turn, but because that's one of the imperatives, you can't pick it again, because you always have to pick a different one. I mean, it's really weird. It's kind of like a balancing act. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's something to keep in mind for sure when looking at this team.
Yeah, I think if you want to like take full advantage of this Doctrina Imperatives mechanic, you really need to just like get a lot of practice with this kill team, and then be able to like accurately read the board state and decide which one of these is going to put me over the edge here, and which one of these, if I take it, is potentially going to lose me the game.
Yep.
So definitely a balancing act. So let's go ahead and skip the ploys for now, because I've been teasing these models for like the past 8 minutes. Let's take a look here. So the Skitarii Ranger Diktat, basically it's just a Skitarii Ranger, but it has this unique action called the Enhanced Data Tether. So for 1 action point, it can select a friendly Hunter Clade operative visible to and within 6 inches of it, and you add 1 to its APL. So it's kind of like an icon bearer, basically. I may be misremembering the icon bearer. And then
like
it says
the con specialist that guardsmen get.
Yeah. This operative cannot perform this action while within engagement range of an enemy operative. So, you know, clearly a better option as opposed to a, just a standard Skitarii Ranger marksman. Let's talk about the Surveyor now. Once again, basically the same thing, except it has an Omni Specs. So with the Omni Specs, for 1 action point, you select 1 Hunter Clade operative visible to and within 3 inches of this operative, then select 1 enemy operative until the end of the turning point. Each time that friendly operative makes a shooting attack, or that shooting attack, I feel like it's a weird way of wording that, areas of smoke. This is something that's very interesting. Areas of smoke have no effect when determining line of sight to that enemy operative.
Like some Marines have smoke grenades.
Oh, true, right.
Seems very specific.
The enemy operative is not obscured. If that enemy operative is the target, that friendly operative's ranged weapons have the no cover special rule.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good piece of equipment. No reason to not take it. So the Shock Trooper is different now because it's got its rad saturation ability back. So while an enemy operative is visible to and within 2 inches of friendly operatives with this ability, that enemy operative is treated as being injured. And then it says only subtract 2 inches from that enemy operative's movement characteristic as a result of it being injured if it is activated, visible to, and within 2 inches of friendly operatives with this ability.
I mean, I don't think your Vanguard Shock Troopers want to be within 2 inches, but this is definitely interesting. It's like Contagion. It's the same thing, I believe, that all the Nurgle guys get. So a pretty interesting thing, except it's just always on. So that kind of makes up for the fact that these guys, they don't want to be getting close, but if they are, at least they're doing this, right?
The Skitarii Vanguard Diktat. So this has the Enhanced Data Tether. Other than that, it's the same exact model.
Yep.
And we've already covered what the Data Tether does.
I do want to say that they increased the crit damage on the Radium Carbine.
Yes.
I noticed. It was 2-3. Now it seems to be 2-4.
Yep.
I don't know if that's going to be getting changed from...
So the Skitarii Vanguard Surveyors, same sort of thing. Got the Omni Specs ability.
I don't remember seeing that. The 1 less AP to do a mission action once per turn. The Sicarian Infiltrator Princeps.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a new ability or not. I haven't really looked too deep into the Forge World faction just yet, but okay, so their equipment has changed. Obviously, the Omni Specs is no longer going to be a piece of equipment on here.
A lot of these are the same. They just seem to have, I don't know what's, looks like the command uplink might be new. Well, no, it's actually not, but for this, it's dictats only.
Yeah.
It's basically just gives them a 2 AP action that lets you just add a CP.
Oh, wow, it's 4 equipment points.
Might be worth it though. The problem here,
that's worth it. That's worth it.
my problem is you have to do it to the dictat, whereas with normal Forge World, just like a basic guy can do it. It's kind of a shame that only the dictat can take it. That's something I prefer about normal Forge World. You can give this command uplink to just a basic ranger or vanguard, and he can sit in the back and just give you CP every round.
So we're just hitting the highlights really in this new faction. I'm gonna be putting a link to the post in our Discord channel in the description below of this video for you guys to check out this PDF and just check it out.
I also wanted to look at the TAC Ops because they have their own, just like the commandos and the guardsmen, they have their own mission specific or faction specific secondaries basically.
Do you want to start with Relentless Pursuit?
Yes. So basically you reveal it in the target reveal step of any turning point. At the end of the turning point, if there are no enemy operatives in the kill zone more than 6 inches from friendly operatives, you score 1 VP. And then if you do it again, you get another. So I mean, this is like, you got to be up in their face.
Yeah, you have to be really aggro with this.
This is probably good against like an elite team where you can actually like, you don't need to like start throwing your chaff guys up there, like your gunners.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That seems like it's hard to achieve. And that's something that I've noticed across a lot of the TAC Ops is that a lot of them, the vast majority of them are like hard to achieve. So here we have TAC Op 2, Calculated Eradication. Reveal this TAC Op when a Doctrina imperative first becomes active for your kill team at the end of any turning point. If any imperative is active for your kill team and the total wounds lost by enemy operatives during that turning point is greater than that lost by friendly operatives, you score 1 VP. So you just get a point if you deal more damage to your opponent than they deal damage to you.
Yeah.
At the end of any turning point, if a different imperative is active for your kill team and the total wounds lost by enemy operatives during that turning point is greater than that lost by friendly operatives, you score 1 VP. So just go 2 turns of taking less damage than your opponent.
I mean, I guess that's okay. You kind of want to do that anyway.
Yeah, right? That's just a good solid backup, really. That I feel like that it's almost like an auto take. So for the third one, Assassination Order, if that enemy operative, reveal this TAC Op in the target reveal step of the first turning point, your opponent selects one of their operatives. Don't like that. If that enemy operative is incapacitated before the 4th turning point, you score 1 victory point. If the first condition is achieved by a friendly Hunter Clade operative within 3 inches of that enemy operative, you score 1 VP. I feel like this is the opposite of an assassination order, actually. Because you're taking the order of which model you are trying to assassinate from the enemy. That just seems like some backhand cloak and dagger political gamesmanship going on in your opponent's ranks. Don't like that one at all.
Yeah, this is basically your opponent picks a model that they're going to hide all game.
I would take this against like Space Marines, just because that faction doesn't really have a choice. I don't think we saw the Sicarian Ruststalker assassins, but I don't think there's anything different about them.
I don't think so either. I mean, they do have an ability actually that is new. Let me take a look at that really quick. They get an extra die and cover. That's definitely something that helps them because unlike their infiltrator brethren, they do not have any shooting, so they need to be able to get up the board quickly and get within like combat range,
right,
and not get shot. So I mean, that's definitely pretty good. I mean, for a model that has 10 wounds and a 4-up save, that's a nice little bonus to have there.
All right, yeah, so that basically wraps up this video. Thank you guys for watching. A special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters over on Patreon for making all this possible, and I hope to see you all again in the next one.